Hey everybody, Logan and Afshin here. So this past Sunday, Logan, you got to preach for the first time at Providence. So first of all, what was that like? And
Exhausting.
yes,
I
why?
have a whole new respect for what you do, preparing each week and then preaching 3 services.
That was the whole point. Yeah. So why don't you tell us real quickly for those who weren't here, because Logan preached on worship and the need for us to grow as worshipers. So why don't you just give a synopsis of the message?
Yeah, we looked at Psalm 63, verses 3 through 6, which starts with, "Because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you." So it starts with that, because we have experienced God's love. So worship starts with God. And then we looked at some of the ways that he has prescribed in his word for us to respond with our love back to him. For example, my lips will praise you. The lifting of hands, expressing our worship to him, finding our satisfaction and our joy in him. And then it ends in verse 6 by talking about meditating on the Lord in his bed in the middle of the night. And then we went back to verse 2 and saw that he beheld the power and glory of God in the sanctuary. So in his bed in the middle of the night, private worship; in the sanctuary, public worship. So the challenge was for us to grow in our private worship of God throughout the week, spending time in the Word and in prayer, and then to grow as corporate worshipers, gathering with the saints to respond to God's love.
That's awesome. I thought you did a great job. It was a wonderful job. I heard great feedback. You should go back and listen to it on our website if you can. But yeah, I love the fact that, the Bible really, I think, wants us first and foremost to know what has been done for us in Christ. It doesn't start with the imperatives, but it does get there. But the imperatives, in other words, respond in worship, respond in singing praises, kind of flows out of first know what has been done for you. And so one of the things that also I think it reminded me is oftentimes I've even said that, man, worship isn't just showing up and singing songs, which that is a true statement. It's more than that. That worship is your lifestyle, as Romans 12:1 says, is laying your lives down, your bodies down for him in response to what he's done for you. And that is your spiritual act of worship. And so we worship God so much more, I would say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, in our obedience to his commands. Having said that, I think sometimes you can say that so much that you kind of neglect the necessity and that God places on actually singing his praises. That's something that God desires. And that it's also good for us as a church to do that. So Hebrews 10:25 that says that we're to not neglect meeting together and encouraging one another as the day draws near. And so I thought it was just a really good time for us to be reminded that it's good for my soul to show up to church on Sundays, to be with the gathered body, to sing God's praises for all that he's done in my life, and then also to sing over one another. So I'm being reminded of those truths. So thank you for doing that. And anyways, what we got going forward is on August the 11th, we'll have our last summer night at Providence. So the first one was on evangelism, then we did worship. And by the way, I didn't even mention that. Sunday night, if you missed it, it was phenomenal. Sunday night was just an hour of worship. Why don't you say what you thought about Sunday night real quick?
Yeah, it was amazing to get to worship with Providence Church. We worshiped through prayer and song for an hour straight, walked a little bit through Revelation 4 and 5, which is the clearest picture of worship in heaven that we have. And we got to sing his praises. And then we got to eat pizza. It was great.
It really was one of the, I think, culture-shaping moments for us as a church to just gather together and spend an hour. I'm not sure that we've ever done that, where we've just dedicated it to singing praises for that long, and then we had a fellowship time. So we're going to do it again. We're going to do it hopefully once a quarter, those worship nights. So make sure you're there for that. But then as I was saying, we have one more summer night at Providence, and it's going to be on prayer, and it's August the 11th at 5 p.m. So put that down on your calendar, and we'll see you August 11th for that, and then be looking for the once a quarter worship nights as well. We love you guys. See you soon.